Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jerry Brandon, Gibson.
It's getting smoother. Hey, this is Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are listening. We got another special guest. No, I'm pretty much no longer a special guest. You're not special anymore, Rob.
No.
But I'm still a guest.
Who's here?
Rob Chafe from Mad Cow Amplification.
Right on. I like it. So we're having a great time already. We are talking to someone else very special. He is the special person. You're not special anymore, Rob. Special guest, who are you?
My name's Drew Zajicek from Weird Noise.
All right.
Right on. Weird Noise in the house. Sorry. I will never do that again.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyhow, right before we started, we were just talking about how awesome useless information is. And one of the things that I shared was the term pull out all the stops, when you're going to really go for it. We're going to pull out all the stops, everybody. That comes from pulling out the stops or the knobs. Sliders, whatever they might be, on an old organ.
They're basically valves.
They are valves.
That's what they are.
So when they pull them all out, and there's actually a thing that says all stops, and then they all come out. That's what that comes from. And then Drew chimed in with another good one. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, well, on one of your previous shows, you guys were talking about where the term breadboard came from. And as far as I know, it came from back before, I guess, actual breadboards were a thing. People would use nails and hammer them into a wooden cutting board or a breadboard, and they would just wrap components around the nails and wrap them around each other, making circuits to test the circuits. That, I could very well be wrong about that, but that
makes an awful lot of sense, actually, yeah.
So if anybody else out there knows anything, I would like to know more. But
that sounds, I like that. Let's go with that.
We're going with that.
Sounds good.
Drew,
mystery solved.
Drew, Superhead Wonder Brain.
No, there's only one of those here.
All right. Well, if you can't tell, we are going to have an awesome show. We're very excited about this. I was off for a week. So first of all, I want to apologize. We've had a couple hiccups in the episode release world because we had a few scheduling issues. Unforeseen circumstances happen, and then, Jared moved out, and
Thanks,
we pretty much did a pretty good job of working around that. So, and Jared was really great about that. But there's just been a handful of things, and summertime usually that happens. But I don't like missing episodes, and so I apologize. I think we had a missed week, or maybe two in there. So. But we're going to make it up with awesomeness. That's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Yep. Ding. So we've got, as we mentioned, we've got Drew Zajicek from Weird Noise in, and I actually just posted a new 1 Minute Wonder featuring the What the Fuzz pedal. So you might want to go check that out. And Drew, where can people find you as they might be listening?
Well, we have our website, which is weirdnoisepedals.com. That's also where you can buy our pedals. Mm-hmm. Most of the kind of activity would be found on Instagram at Weird Noise Pedals. We do a little bit of Facebook where we kind of just get into that. I don't use it quite as often as maybe I should. But. So basically Instagram to see kind of what's going on, and the website to if you want to look a little deeper into things.
Sounds good. Well, we're going to talk about his backstory, his pedals. We had a great conversation while I was at the San Francisco airport for a 4.5-hour layover, which was awesome.
Yay!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad it didn't turn into 6 or something stupid like that. I was so nervous about that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should talk about what's going on in our music world this week.
Well, we should. Unless you have a few announcements.
Unless you have a few announcements.
No, we just got a few announcements.
Unless you have a few announcements.
I do.
Okay, well then go ahead.
All right, we need to thank Wow. All right. Thank you, Rode Mics, for providing this awesome gear that we've been using for so long.
Yes.
We've got the Rodecaster Pro in front of us
Nice.
and the Procaster mics.
And
with
the roticulating arms.
Roticulating arms. That is
Road
correct.
articulating, baby.
These things are still going strong. I see no reason why they would stop going strong, knock on wood. So thank you very much for making really, really nice gear.
It's the Toyota of podcast equipment and recording equipment.
Oh, no,
It
it's
goes for
better than
500,000
Toyota.
500,000
What?
miles
Toyota?
without a
That's
hiccup.
That's the BMW, Volvo.
No, that's a Mercedes.
Oh, the Volvo.
It's a Mercedes.
Dude,
Mercedes lasts forever.
no,
Let's
knocking on
argue
the
about
Volvo.
cars now. Woo.
And this week's a car arguing podcast.
Thank you, Chris Farley. So we've got a couple more announcements. I also want to remind everybody, as you're working in your basement, you're playing around on guitars or whatever, you're at work, pretending that you're working, we're on YouTube as well. So
Yep.
you can
Really?
listen to the episode on YouTube.
That's right.
This is why we need a camera.
No, we don't
The
need a
audio's
We
already
can't
up.
do it.
We need the
Nobody
bouncing
needs to
heads.
see this place. It's terrible
I
looking.
think it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know.
one announcement from me.
He's hilarious to look at.
I have one too after baloney.
Are we going to do an interview today as well?
We are,
We're getting
but
there. We're getting there.
I have this is an important announcement. If you have a chance, everyone go watch on Hulu McCartney 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah, I do.
I already saw it.
I
been
saw
wanting to see that.
all 6 episodes. It is phenomenal.
Who's in
It
it?
is.
Some guy named
Nah.
Paul McCartney.
Don't know.
Don't know him? Yeah. He was. I get he played bass in
What
some
else has he
60s
been
band.
in?
That other guy looks like
Wings.
he woke up.
No, I mean
and
like movies or TV.
hasn't had a haircut in 5
the
years.
Wings, like the TV show.
Yeah, Wings, the TV show.
Forgot his shoes and socks.
Yeah, Rick Rubin is the interviewer. He's a really incredible producer. He's
He
done
is.
everything from hip hop to
Slayer.
Slayer and every band
Beastie
in between.
Boys.
That's right, Beastie
Johnny
Boys. Rick
Cash.
Rubin. There he is.
Which, by the way, I saw the Beastie Boys movie. Oh my gosh!
I was
Oh my
watching
gosh.
that right before we got on.
Anyhow,
I love the Beastie
that's
Boys.
Rick Rubin?
Totally. Oh man. Oh yeah. He started them pretty much
Yeah.
with them.
So
Anyway,
yeah, so check that out. It's if you're a Beatles fan, if you're a even if you're not a McCartney fan, I'm a bigger John fan than Paul fan, and I still found it incredibly interesting. And Paul was
references John an awful lot,
incredibly
from what I
modest.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the parts about McCartney's first solo record where he played
Yeah,
all the instruments by himself at his
that
farm
Ram?
or whatever.
yeah.
He talked about it.
Yeah, there's a
it's called
section.
McCartney. I think Ram was
Yeah.
the second one he did.
Yeah, McCartney was his first solo album.
Interesting. Yeah.
When he was talking about Sgt. Pepper, I think that was about my favorite because they were trying to one up with the Beach Boys at the time.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. Pet sounds.
I liked when he talked about Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
I have an announcement as well.
Oh, okay.
Our friend James at Gibson had some back surgery, so thoughts and good vibes to our bro there. So I see him like every time I go there. There he is doing wiring and stuff.
Awesome.
Nice.
Always gives me a smile when I walk by and give him a head nod. So good luck to him in that. Hope to see him soon.
Yeah, good luck
good.
to that.
All right. I did also have, and this one is specifically for Jared, since he is the main, pickup meister at Gibson. Let's see here. This is from one of our listeners, Bob Crouch, who's actually not just a listener. No,
He's on my list.
poobah.
He's on my list.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I got to do a good job then.
Yeah, you better. What he asked was, he said, "Hey guys, not sure if this has ever been chatted about, but if there's a chance that Jared could provide some insight during a future episode, that's today, on the F-spaced humbucker versus the standard humbucker in a wide/fender-spaced bridge." I've purchased 3 humbuckers recently from some local winders here in Washington, ordered to be F-spaced, and were sent in standard spacing. We'll get into what effing standard is in a second.
Sure.
I've purchased 3 humbuckers recently from some local winders here in Washington. I just said that.
That's right.
He actually wrote that. That was really weird because that coincided with what I just did. I don't want to deal with the drama of returning them for what I ordered. I mean, who would? So I'll probably just eventually build guitars around them using traditional spaced bridges. No. I am still super curious to hear an expert weigh in on the spacing matter, if spacing matters much or not. If this was discussed on a past episode, I'm sure I will find it eventually. Thanks, Bob. Okay, so first we need to understand the difference between F-spaced versus standard spacing.
I didn't even know there was anything like that myself.
So F-space is 53 millimeter or around 53. DiMarzio has their own, which is 52. But whatever, who cares about them? So 53.
Look,
Seymour Duncan
at Gibson now, and look at
Gibson. We actually buy DiMarzio pickups for our artist models, so whatever.
It's all in fun.
It's all in good. It's all good. But so the F space, that means that the pole pieces on both the slug and the screw side, they're further away from each other, and the bobbins are a little longer to assist in being directly under the string in a situation where your strings are spread out a little further. And usually Fender type guitars like Stratocaster and even modern Gibsons are like that. So modern guitars have a wider pickup space in the bridge, and Gibson, we call it treble because that's what the selector switch ring says, treble and rhythm. Mm-hmm. And
mine says yep and nope.
There you go. And rhythm is 50 millimeter, which is very, very ever so close to 49.2. 49.2 millimeter is your vintage spacing. That's all your original PAFs, your T-tops, and all the historical models today, like your Burstbuckers, your 57 Classics, a lot like your Seth Lover, Seymour Duncan models, even like your DiMarzio PAF. So those are the 3 main spacing that you see. So the builders didn't want to send this guy a 53. You could still use them in the bridge. It's just it's more of an eyesore if you're really looking for that. If you're really looking and you really want that string to be over that screw directly, and it's not, it'll just bother you and you won't like it, and you'll just want to change it anyway. So if that's something that bothers you, just order an F space from somebody who actually fulfills their orders the right way. So
yeah, I've used F spaced Seymour Duncan pickups in the bridge position on Gibsons, and they actually work really well. I mean, because obviously the closer you get to the bridge, the wider the strings are spaced apart. By the time you get to the neck, they narrow down. So to me, that works out really well. I did that just kind of out of necessity. I happen to have a F-Space JB that a buddy of mine needed to put it into a Les Paul, and it just so happened it worked great.
Yeah, that's the way they are now. That's just what people want to see aesthetically. Maybe in some cases, if you used some sort of Soundwave computer program to make comparisons, you might be able to see a visual difference on a waveform type program. But as far as audibly, if you're blindfolded and you guessed which is which, I'm willing to bet that you wouldn't be able to tell.
How much?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. I accidentally had that on a guitar way back, and I couldn't figure. I was like, "Why aren't the strings supposed to be over?" I didn't know anything. I was younger, and it was off. But I didn't know any better. So.
I mean, I think it's most important if you're putting a humbucker into a Fender style, a Strat, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because in that case, the actual bridge spacing is much wider than a Gibson is.
Yeah.
So in order to
If it's extremely different and it's way off, then yeah, maybe. But towards the center of the pickup, mostly the magnetic flux field, it expands out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Expanding
So I mean,
flux.
your string oscillates anyway, so it's going to oscillate into the flux field no matter what.
and then you have to put a flux capacitor on it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that was a
don't
great
bang your-
question from our pal Bob Crouch. Thank you for sending that in.
Bob.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
get yourself an F space, Bob. Just
Just
find
do it.
somebody who will build you one.
Yeah.
That's weird, man. 3 different builders sent him a 49.2 or a 50 millimeter.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, Jared, I appreciate you answering that question.
No problem.
All right. Yeah, let's talk about what's going on in our music worlds this week. Tony's going to kick us off, and then we're going to find out what's going on with Drew.
Okay. Well, Todd, this week, in addition to watching McCartney 321,
Yes.
I'd been interested in checking out some of these slick guitars that Guitar Fetish puts out, and it's the name brand for Earl Slick endorsed models. Earl Slick is a crazy good guitar player. He's played with Bowie. He's played with He's played with everybody.
Played with Jesus.
He played with Jesus
He's
too.
like, if you look at him, you're like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jesus was a carpenter. He probably built majestic guitars.
He might have built this guitar. So anyhow, the Guitar Fetish had a big clearance sale, and they had some clearance slick guitars on sale. And this one in particular is it's a SL50.
Didn't Reverb put those out? Somebody, I think Reverb was kind of like behind the, like, hey, we got the slick models. I could be wrong, but
I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
Well, I remember when he came on Reverb and they were demoing those guitars.
Yeah. I'm sure he did that because he probably gets $1.50 or so for every one that gets pushed through. So, I mean, normal price on Guitar Fetish is about $250. They had an extra 30% off clearance, and these were this one was reduced already. So, out the door with shipping, I mean, I ended up getting it for about $175.
That's great.
Is I just to be able to check it out because I've heard good things. I've heard some good things about the hardware, and it arrived today. And I do like a lot of the features of the guitar. Let's go over what I like first.
Yes,
I like they have a wraparound bridge. This is a Tele body guitar. So it's got a wraparound bridge on it that is their own proprietary thing, apparently.
It is really cool. That bridge is awesome.
Yeah, it's all unplated brass, which will really look cool in another year or two as it starts to age. It's got standard Tele neck and bridge pickups, which actually sound pretty good. They're not terribly expensive.
Just really quick on that bridge, the unique thing is that it is it's a single bridge.
Right.
Stop tail,
right,
and tunematic,
and it's
kind of style.
It's intonatable.
It's intonatable, and
Has
the
six
actual
saddles on it.
The saddles look like the sliders in the
On the Hammond organ.
No, on the Chase Bliss CXM.
Oh, okay.
And their preamp model thing that you can do the memory set. And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looks just like them.
Okay. Well,
just so you have a visual out there.
Yes. So that's what it looks like.
It's really cool.
I like all the metal appointments. They used unfinished brass on everything. Even the tuning machines.
Yeah,
the
those
knobs,
are really nice.
They have unfinished on it. So that part of it's really cool. It's a aged flat finish. The neck feels like it has no finish on it, but I think there's something on there.
There's just a kiss. Just
a little kiss. But it definitely needs some setup. Fretwork is not great. That's being kind. So the things I don't like is overall the
headstock shape's really nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's like a mix between a Telecaster and a Stratocaster.
Looks like an old PVT 40 or whatever.
It's kind of edging out there a
Look
little
at the
bit.
edge of that. The tip of that. That's old school PV.
Yeah, maybe. So the body is extremely heavy. I don't know what they used. To me, it feels like Northern Ash, which is baseball bat material. Mm-hmm. The neck, I don't know. I mean, it does have an angle back on the headstock.
It's really skinny.
It's okay. I mean, it plays okay.
It was skinnier than I was expecting.
But I
the
don't
weight of
like
that.
it. They put a scarf joint on it.
Yeah.
And I'm just not a fan of scarf joints. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I mean, the price, I mean, it's a great guitar for $175. Another, $100 or $200 to get it set up and fret work done on it. I think you'd have a decent playing instrument. So I'm gonna monkey around with it a little bit, and I even have given some thought because I like the componentry. I might actually just put a different neck on it and a different body, and use the hardware on another Kelly style guitar.
So what
There you
you're
go.
saying is you paid
I really like
$175
this.
for hardware and some pickups.
Yeah, pretty much.
I might
Okay,
get rid of
well,
it and just keep the metal bits.
Right.
I
there
might
we go
just do
then.
that. I mean, I've
Yeah.
I
been
might
on-
use the screws and the pick guard, and that's it.
There's no pick guard,
Oh boy.
There isn't a pickguard. No, it's almost like
like a Cabernita,
yeah,
but
yeah,
but without a pick guard.
yeah.
So anyhow, that's what I've been monkeying with here today mostly.
Not a fan of the Cabernita. Just saying.
Yeah, that's your call.
I know it is. I made it.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew, how about yourself?
Well, it started out as what I was hoping to be a pretty exciting and productive week. I'm kind of just getting back into working and building stuff. I had open heart surgery a few months ago, and my recovery has been pretty tough. I built a couple batches of pedals right before my surgery, so I'd have something to kind of sit on while I was recovering. But so kind of trying to get back into the groove of it, and working on a new circuit. And then, to my surprise, I turned my amp on after working. It's been working perfectly. It's been sounding amazing. All of a sudden, it doesn't work anymore. Just this extremely high volume, static buzzing sound. So, as you can imagine, that put a pretty big damper on my work plans for this week. So now I'm trying to get that fixed. That's my music world right now.
What model is the amp?
It's a 1965 Deluxe Reverb,
Ooh.
Okay.
and I got it, some new caps, power section and stuff, all gone through about 2 years ago. And all of a sudden, it worked great, worked perfectly. Turn it on the next day, and nothing.
That. Okay.
Get that.
Have you
Yeah.
swapped any tubes yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I actually kind of went into panic mode and called the one guy in town here that knows what he's doing with those things, and
Yeah.
he's supposed to get it back to me tomorrow already.
Oh, awesome. All right. Cool. So you're it out.
We'll see.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yep. I
Oh.
mean, chances are it's going to be a tube, so no big deal.
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. So
Excellent.
All right. Well, wow. I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about the first thing you mentioned because that was kind of big and heavy. When we start the official interview, we're not official yet. I mean, we'll get there. Let's see, Rob. How about yourself?
Is this where I get to read the thing?
Yeah, read the thing.
All right. So let me pull this up here. I got a.
Oh, is this the Would You Rather?
Yep. Would you rather? Here we go. I'm taking Jared's stuff.
Would you rather?
No, so this is a Instagram message I got from a listener of the Guitar Knobs podcast this week, and thought I'd share it because we've kind of talked about the same subject. It's from Sam Jett, and it reads, I've been listening to the Guitar Knobs podcast for a while now, and I've really enjoyed the podcast you've been on. Regarding the vacuum tube shortage, any idea why there aren't any tubes made in the USA? How difficult would it be to set up a facility, business that made them here? What is involved in making a vacuum tube other than obviously creating a vacuum in a tube? Question mark. And finally, sorry for the litany of questions, but since you're a smart dude, thought you would know. Cheers, Sam Jett.
Now, here again, Rob, I think you need to get into the tube repair business.
I have sent an email off to Bezos to see if I can get on the next flight.
There you go.
Excellent.
I think that's going to be the easiest way to create a vacuum.
I think so.
Rather than doing it in my bedroom.
Just
or,
do
know.
it. You do a little spacewalk out there with your soldering iron.
I got to be quick though.
Yeah.
Those flights only last like 12 minutes.
That's right. They're all electric.
Yeah. But so anyway, I've never done manufacturing of vacuum tubes. I really don't know how they're made beyond watching some YouTube videos of demonstrations at, I think JJ Factory. There's some videos up of the JJ Factory. But
I really want Tim Conway to be the foreman. So this is how we make the tubes, and we put them in there, and then poof, and then I don't know what happens there, but
you could do a voiceover.
You could do the American translation.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
But yeah, so I answered Sam back, and Todd's brought this up. Why doesn't somebody like Fender, who is going through however many tubes a year, why don't they, start manufacturing for that?
Yeah, or any other major amp manufacturer.
I can't think of anybody else that would do the numbers that would warrant it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, maybe Marshall, but Fender does way more numbers and amps than Marshall, I'm sure. But anyways, generally the consensus between myself and most other repair techs and people in the industry is that although it seems like a huge industry to us, the vacuum tubes, us as guitar players, musicians, it is this minuscule, tiny little electronic component product. So, and that's why, all the old big guys, Siemens and GE and Mullard and everybody, that's why they all
Jensen
quit. Yeah, it's Jensen. Do they make tubes? I don't think so. No. Thanks,
Don't listen to me. By the way.
But that's why they all quit making tubes, is that the production didn't make sense for the low production numbers they would have to do. And then as far as getting them made in the US or any developed EU country or UK, what's the word I'm looking for? OSHA, the environmental standards would be just ridiculous,
Here's a weird thought. A lot of the Eastern countries, specifically like Poland, Russia, others.
Czechoslovakia, that's where JJs are still being made.
Yeah.
Well, they're also historically renowned for their glass manufacturing. I mean, a lot of the world's great glass things come out of that area. And, go make some tubes, guys.
Well, but they are. That's who's making our.
But besides them, though,
we used to have
there's a lot of other
TVs,
places.
tube radios, tube ham radios, tube everything back in the day.
Yeah,
tube razor.
I don't. But then again, as Asia and Russia and those countries continue to develop, maybe it'll get to the point they will actually give a crap about the environment, change their environmental standards, make it more costly. So then, things may change. It may shift. I don't know. I don't see that being a real viable option in the near future.
I think that that's the repair.
Pyrex, Gorilla Glass.
Tube repair.
Come on.
You're missing it.
Pyrex. They make nice things to cook in,
Toledo,
they're
Ohio has a big glass industry.
Yeah, Oneida.
Yeah, it's called the glass.
Owings Corning.
But the glass, making the glass isn't the toxic part. It's the stuff inside.
What is inside? Tell us, Rob.
I have no idea. I don't know what I don't know what the chemicals are that is the getter, the silver on the glass, what the chemical that is. I know that, like, for me, I go through enough tubes. Some small repair shops just throw them in the garbage. You're not supposed to. They're
right. That's like
they're considered hazardous waste.
That's like throwing fluorescent tubes in the garbage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very similar. Yeah. So,
except shorter.
Yep.
And where does it go?
It goes in the air, and then you breathe it. So when you're a kid, and you're like, smash these things, and you just smash, and you go, and you're sucking up all
mercury.
The argon.
Is it mercury? Argon?
That's why we're all dying.
Okay. Anyways, Jared, how about yourself?
I'm not in the mood anymore.
Jeez.
Does that bum you out a little?
Yeah. So no, I actually had a super action-packed guitar week. It's been the most action-packed guitar week I've had since I moved down here.
That's the most times you've said action-packed.
Did you have barbecue?
Action-packed, baby.
Barbecue?
I probably did have some barbecue in some sort of capacity.
Okay.
I ordered a barbecue chicken pizza 2 days ago.
That doesn't count. That's not barbecue.
That's not barbecue.
Jet's Pizza.
Yeah.
No, I did have barbecue
pizza.
at some point.
Didn't
I
you
just
go to
don't remember.
Martin's?
Yeah, yes, we did. We did. So I'll start this out with NAMM week. NAMM was only 2 days. There were a very small amount of people setting up. Who set up? You had Reverend Taylor was there. It was funny because there was barely anybody on the floor, and then Taylor had that upper room deck thing that they do. But it's like, if you go up there, and you look down on the floor, it's like there was just nobody there.
So it was about a third capacity, a half capacity, 2/3 capacity?
I would say not
Quarter
maybe
capacity.
A quarter. Yeah.
Wow.
This sounds like my dream NAMM.
Actually,
was the guy with the rainbow harp guitar there?
No, I don't think so.
That's a bummer.
There's a few things I want to hit on. So Chase was there, Chase Gullett, Gullett Guitars. He came up, and his helper, Ben Fisher, stayed at my house. This kid's got big, giant red. He's a skinny little kid. And I shouldn't say kid. He just graduated high school. He's 18, going to college.
Yeah.
He's a skinny young man, and his red hair is enormous. It's like Ronald McDonald, and then he wears a hat. It's big and wavy like that. I swear to God. You've seen Ben, right?
Times. Oh, yeah. I've met Ben several times.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's
I do.
huge.
I don't know that I would have said that, but yes, I know what you're saying.
Nicest young man. I mean, great, well-mannered. He called Chase Mr. Gullett, and I had fun with that. And I was like, did you just call him Mr. Gullett? And Chase was like way in the back room getting ready or whatever, and he's like, yeah, man, I like it. Don't just keep calling me that. It was pretty funny.
That's funny.
No, those guys were great. I'm so glad they stayed at the house, and glad I helped them out. Chase had this old school Chevy conversion van type thing, and the AC didn't even work.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Yeah, but it was.
And you got the engine right there at your knees.
I know.
That's awful.
And it was diesel. Diesel engine too.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm like only you, Chase. And but hey, it got good gas mileage, and
He does know that it gets warmer and more humid the further south you go.
man, I
Oh,
feel
my gosh.
He said he had a Brandon Wound shirt on, and by the time he got down here, he had to take it off and take a shower.
And he's a hairy beast, man.
He is.
Chase is a hairy dude.
He didn't have any. His beard is gone, but yeah. Yeah, he's super. So yeah, I had a great time. They were there. A little later after NAMM, it was yesterday. I had it was Friday. I'm going to back up to Friday, the last day of NAMM. I was at the Gibson garage, and finally my boss, Matt, he showed me the vault in the Gibson garage, and it's where you take you have a key card, and you hold it under a book, and then this trap door opens, or it's just a big door with books, a bookshelf door, and then it's got this really cool chandelier in there, and it's got these old rare guitars like a Burst, a real V. It's got a 61 SG Les Paul, a 61 SG Les Paul Custom. All sorts of just dream guitars, original guitars. So I got to hold that V. And then another collector fella came up from, I believe he's in, I don't remember what state, who cares? It's from down south. He brought another original 50s V.
Oh.
And he brought one of Paul Kossoff's Bursts as well too. So I got to play that.
Wow, that's cool.
And I got to play two original late 50s Vs within 5 minutes of each other. Like,
wow.
Who says that? And then yesterday, I'm walking. Right. Who
Right
cares?
now, Joe's
He doesn't
like,
count.
And your points.
What else you got,
Yeah.
Jared?
Well, that's Joe. So what? And then I was walking I was walking real proud, and like I had my awesome 62 ebony block that I've spoke about many times, and I'm walking in the HQ, the corporate office there. And I walked by Cesar's office, and he's like, "Oh, what you got there?" I'm like, "Oh, check this out, man. It's my 62, and it's awesome." And he liked it, and then he's like, and then he asked me, "Have you ever seen 3 bursts in one room?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Come on in." And he had three original 59 bursts that he got out and let me look at. They were extremely clean. And it just, and my SG, it just looked like a harmony, it just looked like a whatever guitar at that point.
So what you're saying is don't try to one up the boss at work, huh?
Never. Yeah. No, Cesar is a really fun dude. He's just got a very impressive collection, and he really cares about vintage stuff. And I really share the same thoughts as he does as far as vintage and all that kind of thing, and the direction of Gibson and all that kind of thing. So that makes me feel good about my job.
Good.
Anyway, that's about it.
All right, that's quite a week, man.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that was a huge, really cool. I don't think it can get any better than that. I mean, honestly.
Wait till you hear what Todd has to say.
Oh, no, we don't have time for Todd now.
Oh, sorry, Todd. We'll have to skip you next week. Save it for next week.
Go ahead and follow that, bro.
Okay. Actually, I will be able to follow that. So
awesome.
This week, I actually spent way more time than I thought I was going to have to spend on it. But it was one of those things where when you put in the work, you're like, wow, this is a lot of work, but think about what it's for. And I ended up packaging 19 packages for patrons, for our giveaway, for new executive producers, new poobahs, and some people that have contributed in other ways to the show. And it's a lot. I am not Amazon. And so, and it really makes you think, it's like, everybody's like, well, only if I get free shipping. It's like, I don't even want to say what the shipping bill was for all of this stuff. But it's not free, that's for sure. But, we don't pass that on to anybody, of course. And it was, it's hand, calculating and coordinating all of the swaggy stuff and the notes and the addresses and the packing and everything. It's like that took hours.
Don't let him fool
hours
you.
And hours.
His kids are doing it.
No, that was all me.
Just the kids did it all.
He's standing behind him cracking a whip. Yeah.
No, they're in San Francisco. I had to do that all by my lonesome.
Yeah,
it does take a long time too. Like if I'm sending out 5 or 6 packages to different places.
Yeah.
It takes me all morning to get it ready.
Yeah. And these are all different size shirts and sweatshirts and you've got 25 stickers and all the extra bits that go into, anyhow. But we did give away a lot of awesome stuff to our patrons in honor of our 5th anniversary. Awesome. And I was really happy to be able to announce that over Instagram. And but that's what I did. I spent a lot of time doing that, and I'm grateful to have been able to do that. So thank you all to our great supporters. With that, Jared, give me a little bit of that.
Please?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the floor.
You're still laughing about the please.
That's the last one. Okay. Got me giggles. Rob.
Yes.
How many pedals do you have on your pedal board? Can you give us a rough estimate?
10.
10 pedals.
10 pedals.
That is, do the math on that, Tony.
That's 20 patch cables.
Is that 20 patch cables?
I don't know.
Well, no, minus 2.
Minus
so that's
2.
18. That's 18. That's 18
Thanks
patch
for playing,
cables.
Tony.
Damn.
Jared, do you have a suggestion on what he might be able to use to adequately put all of this together on his board?
Absolutely. And to fit it anywhere on the pedal, you can have the pedal super close, get some tour gear design, patch cables.
That's right. You can get them at tourgeardesigns.com/discount/the guitar knobs. Or you know what? When you get them in your basket and you're getting ready to hit the purchase, put in the code. I believe that'll work too. The guitar knobs. And you're going to get
a good idea too.
10% off your entire order.
Buy a bunch for your buddies and put them in their stockings on Christmas Eve night.
Yes.
Yeah, for Christmas in
Thinking
July.
ahead.
Why not? Yeah. or just a nice, hey, I'm thinking about you. Note. Yeah, you do that.
I thought you could like one of these.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't play guitar.
These patch cables are outstanding. They are extremely low profile at the input. They are extremely small diameter at the input, which makes it
flat.
And they're flat.
They fit, man. They just fit.
They fit so well. So go to tourgeardesigns.com/discount/the guitar knobs, or just use the guitar knobs code at your purchase, and you're going to save 10%. So thank you so much to Tour Gear for sponsoring our 4 on the floor. Drew.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to give us your 4 on the floor?
I am ready.
We can't wait. Go for it.
All right. So I changed this around many times and thought about it a lot, and I realized that it's going to probably be different next week than it is now. So we'll just go with my current choices, I suppose. The first pedal that I have just been absolutely in love with lately is the Death by Audio Total Sonic Annihilation 2.
Ooh.
Best pedal name ever.
Yeah. Played one of those at
great
the
pedal name. Great pedal. Great name. A lot of surprising amount of functionality with this thing. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with it, but it's basically a feedback looper pedal. Mm-hmm. So, well, first of all, you can just run straight in and out of it. It's got a boost with a ton of gain on it, and it's an awesome distortion fuzz pedal just on its own. It's got a feedback knob. You turn that up and you get crazy types of oscillation, and it's just a ton of fun. Awesome. Well, and then there's also a send and return on it. So you can basically send the signal out to one of your other pedals or multiple pedals in a chain, your whole pedal board if you want to, and you will feed the signal through whatever pedal you choose, and it comes back into there, and it goes back again and back again and back again. And you can control, with the feedback knob, you control the amount of signal that's getting sent back out into wherever you want to put it.
You know, it's kind of a trip is you could actually plug if you had something that was kind of wacky or whatever, like on a Ditto, you could run that into it. And so outside of the actual guitar signal, you could have something recording through that, sending it back in the loop, yeah?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. I've never tried it that way, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
Whoa! Just figured something out.
Sounds like you need a bunch of Tour Gear design patch cables.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. You would, for sure.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is my current favorite delay pedal. It is the Dan Electro Backtalk reverse delay. It's honestly, when I first got it, I thought it was going to be kind of this one-trick pony type of super psychedelic, Beatles backwards guitar type of thing, which it does do that quite well. But if you dial things back a bit, it just, and I like to stick it back in the mix quite a bit. It just can give you these really great textures behind what you're playing that aren't distracting. And I've just kind of fallen in love with that pedal. It's awesome.
Is that one of the bigger metal box ones?
This is the reissue one.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's like 125 size.
Okay.
Enclosure, and very pedal board friendly, jacks on the top and such.
Okay. Yeah, when Tony brought that up, I remember these. Yeah, the old vintage ones. And those were actually pretty cool. They did a certain thing that was
they
unique.
had like a sitar pedal and
right. And they had the cool cat and the whole series. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had the plastic ones that just broke all the time.
Like the tuna sandwich or
the sandwich series.
Yeah.
And to think, so those old Dan Electric pedals, I was manager of Music Store at this time. We would buy those for like $40 each, or in quantity, $30 each, right? Reverb, Backtalk. They have one listed right now for $400 and one for $288.
Yeah,
it's
could, crazy.
At that time, we could barely give them away.
Yeah.
Wow. Why didn't I buy cases of those things?
Yeah, people want the old ones. They say they sound better, and I don't know. I've never had two of them next to each other.
Rob, come down to my shop. We'll set the Wayback Machine for about 19.
We got to get on this.
90, maybe 90.
Yeah, about mid 90s.
You know, the Wayback Machine is actually his dirty old toilet in the back of the.
No, that's what he calls it when he's spraying lacquered guards all day in there.
Wayback.
He thinks he's in time travel. It's just a lacquer,
It's a one-way door.
Wow. All right, so we disrupted your fourth floor. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Number 3.
Number 3 is the Electro Harmonics Memory Man. Now, the one I have is I believe it's the first one they made. It's not a deluxe Memory Man. It's just called the Memory Man Solid State Echo Analog Delay Line.
Wow.
Cool.
It's got 3 knobs, your typical feedback and decay and mix knobs. It's got a little switch that'll give it a little bit of a boost because it is pretty quiet. It's pretty noisy. Mm-hmm. It's definitely not, like a clean sounding delay, like a even like a carbon copy or something like that. It sounds old. It sounds kind of dirty, but it's got a lot of character and it's got a great vibe to it.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, actually.
Kind of dirty.
The old part.
Old, kind of dirty.
Old,
a lot
dirty,
of character.
Yeah.
So, that's fun. And, these delay pedals are great with that total sonic annihilation.
Oh,
because
man, yeah.
running it back through a delay back through the delay is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool. That's 4.
No.
Nope. One more.
Well, by that, I mean this. Do you know how this goes?
All right. So number 4 is another Death by Audio pedal. It's the Rooms Reverberation Machine, I believe is the full name of it. Mm-hmm. It's they're just insanely crazy reverb pedal. It's stereo in and out. It's got 6 different modes on it. You can have it basically sound like just a nice big room, or you can make it sound like you're flying through space. This thing, it's got so many different sounds, super long reverb times if you want them. One of the cool things about it is it has an alt switch. So you can have your settings, say you have your settings kind of a smaller reverb time, smaller room type, and you can turn the alt switch foot on, and it's going to be like the same setting for the type of reverb, but you can change the frequency and the decay and the time on it. So you can go just quickly with one switch, go from something pretty mellow to like just totally out there.
Gnarly, man.
And I really like that because I'm not a big making build 10 presets on a pedal for later or whatever.
Yeah.
This is cool because you can just have one sound and then you can just kind of amp that sound up really quickly and easily to go to the other signal.
Excellent. Well, Death by Audio makes some crazy, crazy stuff.
Props to whoever does their names.
Yeah. No.
The Rooms, that's a perfect name for
it is
reverb.
It is. Well, thank you so much for doing that, and thank you again to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor. Like to hear those. All right, Drew Zajicek, Weird Noise. We're going to interview you now.
All righty.
Commence interview.
Nice job on my last name too. That was impressive.
Well, you did spell it out for me, so
it's horrible. I ever since I was a kid, nobody gets it right.
What is that origin? Is that's
it's
not
Czechoslovakian?
Hey, me too. That's what my name is. Yeah, Novak.
I've never been there or anything, but
spelled Novak. Actually, it's pronounced Sade, but anyway. That's an old thing.
Czechoslovakia is a beautiful place.
Yes.
Or the Czech Republic now, as it's called.
Yes.
I've been to Prague. I think I've only been to Prague.
Yeah.
Prague.
Yeah.
That's great.
Someday when world travel is a normal thing again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Love to go there. Okay, so we need to find out all about you now. This is the you show, okay? And in case anybody missed it at the beginning, where can they go again really quickly?
Most of the action is on Instagram at Weird Noise Pedals. And we also have a website, which is weirdnoisepedals.com, which has some information about the pedals and a shop to buy the few pedals we have right now.
But you really just go by Weird Noise, right?
Correct.
Cool. All right. Now, when we discussed this episode at the airport, I said, hey, we can talk about it, most anything you want. We typically like to get the backstory because it allows people to kind of find out, who you are and where you're coming from and why they might want to connect with you. So, why don't you start wherever you're comfortable and just kind of tell us how you got into music in the first place and how that might have led you to building?
Yeah, growing up, I just was always exposed to music. My dad was a huge Beatles fan, Stones fan, kind of that, typical kind of rock and roll from the 60s. And it just never really stopped for me. I just kept getting kind of deeper and deeper into music. And for some reason, I started playing the trombone after all that. That didn't work out very well. But didn't start playing guitar till I was in high school. And then it just kind of, never really stopped from there. I've definitely had times when I get burnt out and have to take breaks and stuff. But, I've been playing guitar for, 27 years or something like that, and on and off. And when I was back in the 80s, when I was pretty young, I was, maybe 6 or so. My dad did a correspondence class in VCR repair. And so I used to watch him with his soldering iron and working on stuff. And I always thought that it was just really cool how all these tiny little components just made things happen. I thought it was just kind of this mysterious thing. And honestly, I still kind of do. I don't really get all of it, but that kind of turned me on to just like electronics. But I never really got into it until maybe 2004, something like that. I started playing in bands and trying to fix stuff for people. I think the first time I ever soldered was I had to change out some wiring in a telly that I had and botched it pretty bad and got it fixed. Got it fixed eventually, But I built a couple pedal kits around that time and just kind of followed the instructions. Put this there, put that there. Didn't really understand what anything meant, or didn't understand how to read schematics. Just kind of put the stuff together and hoped it worked. Most of the time it did, which was awesome.
It's a pretty great feeling when you do that, and then you're just like crossing your fingers, and then sound happens.
It's great. And then the ones that don't work, I didn't know how to even troubleshoot any of these things. Mm-hmm. So if it didn't work, I was just like, well, that one doesn't work. Move on to the next one, and just never really figured anything out.
Yeah.
After that, I started working in recording studios, mostly in the San Francisco Bay Area, and kind of just ran out of time to do any kind of learning about electronics. I would fix things at the studios, things that were kind of easy to fix, like broken cables and microphones that, loose wires or, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so, for a while, I just wasn't really doing anything with pedals until about a year ago. I lost my job because of COVID.
What were you doing?
What was I doing? I was driving a concrete mixer at that time.
Wow.
Lost my job doing that, and kind of just decided, and actually a lot of it was from listening to your guys' podcast and listening to other builders who just kind of, I heard a lot of them saying, well, I just kind of started doing it. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I just wanted to try it out. And now we're building all these pedals or whatever. So it was really inspiring to me to hear other people doing that. And I kind of realized, well, why can't I do that?
That's awesome. So
I just kind of started looking at schematics, like actually looking at them to see what was going on.
Just out of curiosity, while we're on that topic, is there anybody, whether it was then or before then or now or whatever, but were there any builders in particular that inspired you more, or you were more intrigued by?
I don't know his name, but the guy that runs Farm Pedals.
Oh yeah.
I remember listening to his podcast with you guys, and he was talking about how he's a farmer, but then in the winter he builds pedals. And I just thought to myself, that's really cool. Like, why? It doesn't have to be an all or nothing type of thing. You can just do it when you can do it. And that's how I started. I just was trying to do it when I wasn't at work, when I had a job at the time. And then once COVID hit, it was just, I had nothing else to do, I also used to look at people like Alec from Mask. I used to look at his layouts because I just thought his PCBs and his designs looked so great. And I didn't know how to do any of that kind of stuff at the time. But I really wanted to learn.
He was just starting out at that point.
Yeah. And I really just wanted to learn like how to build these pedals in a way that wasn't a headache, and a way that I could build, 10 at a time or whatever. As opposed, I was building on Vero board, which is great. I love building on Vero board, but it takes a long time, So I just figured out how to read schematics.
Just real quick, in case anybody's trying to follow along there. So Farm Pedals, that's Jeff Hancock. He was a great guest, and it is very interesting because he is a farmer, and that's basically what he does. And then he also does the pedals, which is two things you don't necessarily put together. But that's episode number 73, in case anybody is wanting to try to track that down. And then Alec Breslow of Mask is he's 148. So in case you guys are taking notes or whatever, you can go and listen to those and see and listen to the two of the builders that inspired our friend Drew here.
Yeah, those guys were great. Just kind of the way that I don't know much about farm pedals except for that I thought it was really cool that he was a farmer, but he just built pedals. And like I said with Alec, his designs were great, and I really wanted to learn how to have the inside of my pedals look nice, like his do, you know. And it turns out Alec has his finger in a lot of different pies. He does PCB design for a lot of different companies out there.
Yeah,
because he's just really good at it.
Yeah,
you know?
he just got on the thing and just went crazy.
Yeah. So
did you ultimately learn how to? I know you mentioned before, it's like I put the thing where the thing says to go, you know.
Right.
And I think that is a really big struggle with a lot of people that like to DIY, that they enjoy the building part. They enjoy the I made something part, but not really knowing how the components work is a real drawback. It's a barrier to entry to actually make pedals for a lot of people. But then even if you do get into it, it's something that is highly frustrating and a bit demoralizing, especially if it's not working. You're like, well, why am I doing this?
Oh, absolutely. It's hard to, you know, it took me a long time to just figure out, like, what does a capacitor do in a circuit, or what does a resistor do in a circuit? You know, they say you need these capacitors here and these resistors here, and that's all fine and everything. But why? You know, that's what I really struggled to figure out, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I have, you know, I'm getting more of a grasp on circuit design and putting things together that actually will work without trying to copy something else.
And two sources that I know there's a load of sources out there, but two that we've brought up on the podcast before. Wampler's book is, you know, sort of like one of the OG books out there. I know there's a couple others that predate that. But then also one guy that I love watching on the internet, bigclive.com.
I've heard you talk about him, but I've never seen him.
He also does a thing that says, I think it's will it carbonate or will it fizz? And he's this giant Scottish guy with this fantastic accent, and he basically puts alcohol into a soda stream. And it's like, and then he also like distills things that are already been distilled. It's just wild. But he has one specific episode that he very clearly, at a primary level, which is what I needed at the time, explains what each of the major components are. He's an electrical wizard outside of the crazy stuff that he does on YouTube, but he's fun to watch. Go check that out. Bigclive.com.
Yeah, stuff like that was hard for me to find when I was trying to figure stuff out. I know there's a lot out there, but a lot of places kind of skip over.
Yeah, and a lot isn't always good, you know.
Exactly.
It can be paralyzing. It was like, well, how much time do I spend trying to find the thing that's going to speak to me?
Right. So I ended up just kind of teaching myself how to design PCBs after doing a few Vero boards. And I kind of got lucky, and they just kind of worked. They worked. I figured out how to make them fit inside of enclosures, and built a few pedals, and I started just kind of building them for myself and wanting to do it an easy way, but maybe build like 5 to give to a friend or something like that, and it just kind of, since I had no job, I just kind of had more time, and it just kind of kept wanting to keep going. And we kind of just ended up building pedals and trying to make it work.
So you have 2 right now. You really did. Rob mentioned it. Rob, you want to kind of share what you were saying about
just
focus?
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate right away how you. How can I put this? Yeah, focus. You didn't try to create 6 wildly different pedals. You said, okay, well, what am I going to start with, and branch out from there.
Right.
And we've got the pedal sitting right in front of me. And by the way, side note, I appreciate how most people, when they start making anything, the first releases are kind of primitive, not quite, I's dotted, T's crossed. I mean, you've done a lot of detail here, and like I'm looking at the What the Fuzz, and the way you've laid out the artwork purposefully around the LED and the fuzz control, and so you've done a lot of detail. You've really thought it out, and not just rushed out pedals, but said, okay, let's do this one, and then what's the next,
Well, and the light too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't want to just put things out with stickers on them or anything like that. And nothing against people that's what they do, because that's a cool thing too. But
cherish those compliments from Rob, by the way.
well,
I mean,
I think Jared's being snarky here, isn't he?
Well, not really. I mean, it's not very often Rob just really compliments the heck out of it. Exactly, because Rob, I mean, you know what you like. You're very, I don't know, what's a good word, hard-nosed about gear. You know what's good and what's not gear.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that.
And I respect it. I respect your gear preference and the way you go about it.
Well, and there's the thing, and I haven't even played these yet. I'm just talking from the aesthetic and the fit and finish of them,
Yeah.
Well, I can't take full credit for that, because my wife she does the graphics. She's been doing all the graphics.
See, now that makes sense. That, I mean, not like guys couldn't come up with this level of detail, but let's be honest, we don't have the attention span.
Yeah, she was the one that,
especially Todd.
Yeah, especially Todd.
She did the designs, and she was adamant about trying to make it work so it will have some kind of glow in the dark or black light reactive.
Smart girl. Well done.
I like the black light that you included with that.
Very cool.
With that.
Well, yeah, you gotta have that in there.
That's cool.
Now Tony and I have both spent time with him. Rob just got him tonight because I just got back from San Francisco and wasn't able to get him to him in time, but he's taking him with him tonight to try him out.
Cool.
And Tony, you just, since we're just talking about the pedals real quick, we'll get back to Drew's story here in a little bit. But why don't you tell us a little bit what you thought?
Let me take another look at it. It's been a little while. So.
Hey, Drew, which one was first?
The What the Fuzz was the first one.
Okay, and that's the 3-knob.
That's the 3-knob one, and that one is basically I just designed that as a pedal that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make something versatile where I could have a fuzz pedal and a nice sounding overdrive. That was kind of my goal with that.
Right.
Yeah, and that was kind of my experience. I think with both of the one button fuzz, and maybe not so much the 3-knob fuzz or
What the Fuzz.
The What the Fuzz.
Great name.
I found it. I'm not. I'll preface this with saying that I'm not a big fan of the fuzz. But when you tame this one down, the What the Fuzz especially sounds like a really great overdrive pedal.
Yeah, it really does. That's something that I brought up on the 1 Minute Wonder that I did with these, where I mentioned I think it had a really responsive pick attack, which, I'm just picking straight, and it doesn't even sound like I'm hooked up to a fuzz at all. And then I hit a power chord with full velocity, and it was like, holy crap! The thing just started roaring at me.
It was very responsive.
I'm happy. I'm really happy with the way it turned out like that, where it's there's a lot of dynamics in the circuit and the sound of what you can get.
Mm-hmm. And then that led to what? How did you go from that to the next pedal here? Got it.
The Fuzz It is just 1-knob fuzz. Pretty straightforward. It's when the toggle switch is turned to the right, it's just kind of a vintagey sounding germanium, nice and warm kind of fuzz. It's still pretty gnarly though. There's a lot of fuzz going on.
That one's maybe a more straightforward.
Yeah, I would call that a true fuzz pedal
down your throat.
Yeah, that's pretty much just like a fuzz pedal. Like if you want to overdrive, that thing's not going to do it for you for sure.
Yeah.
And then when you switch it over switch the toggle over to the right side, it just kind of that germanium circuit cascades into a silicone fuzz circuit, and it just gets pretty wild. And that's what I wanted. I wanted just something that was just kind of wild. Maybe it doesn't appeal to everybody out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were going to do a pedal like that, I might do it switchable between germanium and silicon, maybe instead of cascading it. I don't know. Sure. But yeah, you're right. When you flip that switch,
right,
it goes.
But also think about his 4 on the floor. His 4 on the floor was full of
yes, yeah.
He didn't say a clon and a tube screamer.
You're right. Well, and let me chime in there. And for the one knob guy, I like the idea of being cascading. That way, it's not just like a slightly different flavor of the same setting. It's more like, okay, this is a one knob fuzz, but you can go crazy with it. I don't. Yeah. So I think you're wrong, Tony. So that's cool.
Okay, I've been wrong. I've been wrong once. So
yeah.
hey, real quick, Drew. Going back to the what the fuzz. WTF? The knobs. I think T means tone, F means fuzz. What's the W?
Volume.
It's just kind of like what? Turn it up.
Oh.
Or level.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I didn't want to have it called What the Fuzz and then have it have a VTW.
No. That's cool. I was.
Well, actually, I guess it would be very much in heritage wise. W is pronounced V in a lot of,
or V is pronounced W.
Right.
Like Chekhov on Star Trek.
Right. So like what I just said, so different.
The volume.
The volume. Anyways, wow, I don't know what just happened. Okay, so anyways, back to your story. I think we've covered those are your pedals. They're doing really well. You're getting a lot of them out there.
Well, we were talking a little bit on his pedal board. How about what is your music background and type of music that you like? Guitars, all the fun stuff.
So lately I've just kind of been into heavy psych type of music. I've never been like, I've never really chased tone. I've never tried to really sound like this or that. I just kind of like to make noise.
Okay.
It's been years.
Any bands that might fall under the heavy psych?
Yes, for those of us that have no idea what that means.
A couple of my favorite bands right now are Place to Bury Strangers, which is actually
that's what they call Rob's house out on his block.
That's actually Oliver from Death by Audio.
Yeah.
That's actually his band.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. That's why I like that name.
If you want to see someone literally beat the living crap out of a guitar.
This guy Oliver comes up with the best names ever, man.
I'm a big fan of the Black Angels.
Oh yeah, I like the Black Angels quite a bit too.
Yeah, I've been kind of getting into this band from the 70s called Witch. They're from Zambia. It's like this cool psychedelic type of poppy, kind of poppy, maybe kind of heavy stuff. That's really fun. Band called Acid Dad. I've been really getting into. Just I've kind of.
You might like Uncle Acid too, actually, if you haven't heard of that.
I do like Uncle Acid.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
Tony, would you like to chime in here?
I don't know about you guys. I've been listening to a lot of Gordon Lightfoot lately.
Definitely the opposite end of the spectrum.
That's what I was looking for from Tony. So.
Especially The Watchmen. I love that song. It's in my head all the time, and I enjoy it.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
All right. That's a great transition.
Thanks, Drew.
Kicking the bums about. I love it.
All right, Drew. So we're taking a quick left out of there. Back to your...
No, we didn't talk about guitars.
Well, I know we're going to talk about guitars, but just really quickly while we're on these pedals, and I'm going to get back to Drew, I promise, but I wanted to set this up by saying your pedal sounds great on its own. I found that putting it in front of one or two of my other pedals that I was playing with, I was like, oh my goodness, it is a great pre-pedal.
I agree. I agree. It's fun to put it in front of. I like to put it in front of just about anything, even if it's just an overdrive. You know?
Yeah. I was actually running that into our Fez, and oh my goodness, that sounded good.
Awesome. Yeah, that Fez seems like a really cool pedal.
Thank you. Well, we let's see. With that, I wanted to find out what I know you said what is your 4 on the floor. Do you like to pair these up with anything in particular? I know you just said that you like to put it in front of just about anything, but do you have a favorite that you like to put it in front of or behind?
I have been very into reverb before fuzz lately.
Interesting.
And honestly, right now, to me, it doesn't matter what fuzz and what reverb. If I put them in the reverb in front, I just can play 3 chords for 45 minutes and not even care.
Wow. I got to try that. I have not tried that. Tony, have you tried that?
So much fun with that.
Tony's not tried it. Rob, have you tried it?
Nope.
No, we're all going to try that. I bet you 41% of the people that are listening are going to go try that.
Well, I used to set up my pedal boards very, got to get the fuzz first, and then do your whatever other dirt pedals, and then just make sure your reverb's at the end, and have everything kind of in that specific correct order. Recently I just pulled my pedal board apart and put everything in there, just all weird and in different ways, and delays after fuzzes after delays, reverbs all over the place. And I've just been having a lot of fun.
That's cool. That's neat.
I suggest doing that, even if you have to pull a couple pedals off your board or whatever, just to switch it up. It's really a lot of fun.
I dig it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try the reverb in front of the fuzz anyways.
Do it.
So let's hear about your guitars.
Well, I have only 3 guitars, which I know that when I listen to your show, some of you guys sounds like you have about 40 guitars.
Tony does. That's it.
Oh, Tony 40. Does. That's
it. He doesn't know where that many of his guitars are at currently.
That's probably true.
I don't remember how many I have.
I have a Les Paul type of guitar that actually my wife made for me for our wedding anniversary, wedding gift from her.
Wow.
She made it?
Yeah, she was a woodworker for a long time, and she got a giant slab of koa wood. And
that's what you get up there in Oregon.
She made me an awesome guitar. It's amazing.
That's cool.
I've got that. I've got a Telly type of guitar that's made by a friend of mine named Rich Hogue, who's in San Francisco. He builds a lot of guitars for Bob Weir, and he's got a very big kind of Grateful Dead type of following. But he made me this great Telly with humbucker in the neck. Mm-hmm. And it's just this awesome thing. Better than any Fender Telly I've ever played, actually.
That's cool.
And then my other guitar, it's 1969 Ampeg Dan Armstrong. And that thing is super heavy.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I gotta sit down. I can't stand up and play that thing. I gotta sit down and prop it up on my legs. But it's awesome. And
it's a clear one.
Yeah, it's a clear one.
They did a smoke gray one too, right?
They did a black one that they had problems with. Gave it to Keith Richards, and it kept falling out of tune from the stage lights.
Oh my!
So which pickup do you have in it?
I have the rock treble. I have the country bass, and then I just recently bought a Kent Armstrong P90.
Yeah, that's what's really cool is they actually Ken Armstrong is making compatible plugins for that guitar.
Yeah, it's Dan Armstrong's son.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's making them in Florida. And then Dan Armstrong's grandson, his name's Aaron, he's building the pickups over in England.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So they're just kind of continuing on with
cool.
that. And, you know, I'd like to get a humbucker for it at some point, but once I put the P90 in that thing, I don't know if I'll ever take it out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome.
How about amps? What are you doing with amps?
Well, my broken amp is my 65 Deluxe Reverb. That's all like, when I first got it, I thought I got ripped off because I thought it was a reissue. It was so clean.
Wow.
Such a clean amp.
And that's a blackface, right?
Yeah, I had to take it apart and look on the inside, and I was expecting to see a circuit board in there. But all the parts that had dates on them are all like mid 65.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So that's rad. And then my backup amp is a Harmony. It's I think it's a 81 or 8418, I believe it's called. It's from the 50s, and it's just this 8418 is what it is. It's a 1950s. It's a 5-watt amp. It's kind of like it's, I guess, pretty comparable to like a Fender Champ or something like that.
Okay.
Is that one of those tall, like slightly taller ones with like a circular cutout kind of thing?
Yes.
Well, I just surprised myself. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah. No, that's.
I just looked at Tony like, watch me get this wrong.
No, it's and that's a great amp. You know, it's like you just crank it all the way up. It's not that loud, and it sounds amazing. You know.
That's awesome. That's a good recording, like one to blast out when you're to mix with.
I used to. People would always ask me to bring that into the recording studio when I was an engineer there, because people wanted to use that amp because it just is awesome. You know.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, it has been awesome hearing about all of your stuff. Before we transition into Jaredville, are you working on anything new, or are you just kind of holding steady with the Fuzz It and the What the Fuzz right now?
No, I'm actually working on a couple different circuits right now. I'm working on some kind of delay. Kind of just getting into that, but I've always wanted to build a delay. Not like I don't want to. It's not going to be like a super clean type of delay. I'm sure there'll be some kind of fuzz distortion thing going on, you know, kind of a maybe a weirder type of delay, and also kind of the along the same lines with a reverb, you know, just kind of getting into something with maybe a delay with some fuzzy modulation in it. So I got a couple things that I'm pretty happy with right now that just need some fine tuning. So hopefully soon I can start getting a couple more things out and it kind of expand the palette a little bit instead of just fuzz, you know?
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, we're looking forward to it. Please keep us posted on that so that we can share that out with our audience and everything.
Absolutely.
Jared?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's come to the time in the show where we all enjoy a little bit of, should I do this or should I do that? Other known as, would you rather?
Whoa. Jared, what did you say? I wasn't listening.
Was there a harmony machine on this?
Wow.
He's a Leslie.
Yeah.
A human Leslie.
Volume and vibrato control, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a good pedal board in my throat. All right.
Man, living in Nashville's done you good.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you. It's the way you have to drive here. It's made me a better singer. Because it's absolutely crazy.
All right, then.
I almost get hit and killed every day. All right. This is from our good old chum, Sam Jett.
Yes.
So this is for all the analog versus digital threads out there. Would you rather? So you're walking down the street and you're finishing up your smoothie when, oh no, you're accosted by the town burglars. Analog Alan and Digital Dan.
Uh-oh.
You happen to be standing next to the van, and that has all your gear you're taking to your gig. Analog Alan hops in the van and steals everything that happens to be analog, of course, right? Your tube amps, tube-driven pedals, analog pedals, etc. Digital Dan hops in the van and steals everything that happens to be digital, right? Because of Digital Dan. Your stack, your solid-state amp, your pedals that nobody has. You drop your smoothie in disbelief. But by the time it hits the ground, they're gone. Thankfully, all your guitars are still in the van and in one piece. But you only have time to track one of them down before your gig starts. Now, Analog Alan and Digital Dan aren't too bad of guys. They just stole all your stuff, but hey, they're just misunderstood. If you happen to be missing an essential piece of gear despite recovering your analog or digital gear, the Tone Thieves will loan you a corresponding piece of gear so that you can still play in your gig. See? They're not so bad. So, would you rather ask for one piece of essential analog gear from Analog Alan, or ask for one piece of essential digital gear from Digital Dan?
Ooh. Oh, that's such a good one from Sam Jett. Right on, man. That's a really good one. That's up there.
I have a clarifying question.
Uh-huh.
So we've got our guitar, and we're only getting one piece of gear that's either digital, one piece of gear that's analog, and that's it.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We're Tony.
Well, all I know is it's a good thing that Hybrid Harry didn't come and steal your stuff, because he'd have taken it all.
Yeah. That's your worst joke ever.
Yeah, that's not good.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
But seriously, folks, try the veal. I'll be here all week.
I liked it, Tony. Thanks, buddy.
I'm glad you liked it. I heard a giggle in the background. The guitar, yeah, we got that covered. It's kind of tough to say. I mean, my inclination is lean towards the analog side, only because I'm assuming that would be like an amp or something, correct?
Yeah.
So I could live without digital things, I think. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with the analog. I'm going to see analog. Who's it? Andy?
Analog Alan.
Alan. Oh, how about his brother Andy?
Nope.
No. Well,
Nope,
maybe I can get two pieces
that.
of gear from
It's not that.
Analog Andy.
So you're taking your amp back.
I'm taking my amp back.
All right. Rob, how about yourself?
I don't want to answer these questions anymore.
You got to.
It's the law.
Okay, if it has to be, if I can only get one piece of gear, then it has to be digital, because I can get a Helix, and I can get a faux 400 and some amps and pedals. Well, no, if it was a question like, okay, you're getting 6 pieces or 5 or something like that.
You get one.
Well,
you get one.
Well, that's why I'm justifying so that's why it's got to be a Helix, which is I'm cheating the system here and getting.
Yeah.
That's not cheating the system.
Well,
if that's what you are using.
Yeah, it's just being clever.
No,
That's fair
it's
enough.
not what I use. And that's what I mean. If you look at my pedal board, I technically have one digital product in my whole rig.
Right.
So I would rather go all analog. But if it's like, okay, I can only get one piece of analog gear, it's like, well, shoot, not one gear.
So you wouldn't take your flippin' super awesome amp?
No, because I couldn't do a gig, any of my gigs with
Your
just
Bugera?
that. Bogner. Bugera. Take that back. Yeah. No, I couldn't. I couldn't do any gigs with just that. I'd need something else at certain spots.
You need to get down back to basics, man.
Yeah.
My rig's pretty basic, but
Yeah.
I mean, to do it with just an amp,
I'd cancel the gig.
well, there you go. Okay, so anyways, that's
All
my
right.
answer.
Then I'd take a baseball
Jared, how
bat
about
to
yourself?
both Analog Andy and
That's
Digital
right.
Dan.
And take all
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Take both their vans,
I'm gonna get on the ship with Gilligan and then get trapped on Tony Island.
too. Thank you.
Where you're surrounded by Marshalls.
I'm gonna go for analog, and I'm gonna get a Marshall.
Yeah. Okay.
Get the Marshall. You could just always turn it up and make everybody's ears bleed. So
Exactly. Drew, how about
Yep.
yourself?
I think I would definitely have to go analog and get my deluxe reverb working again. Hopefully these guys can fix it before after they steal it.
He still has his reverb on his mind. His amp the whole show.
He hasn't slept in 6 days.
Yeah, I've been a wreck. I've been a total wreck.
All right. Well, I am going to take my HX Stomp.
Yeah, there you go.
Good man. I was worried I was going to be alone on this one.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking what am I required to do my gig, and I've already set up my rig in the event that anything goes wrong with my stuff.
Smart.
I can punch that in, but even without that, I'm using it now for a couple of other things to help out, and it just makes sense. You know, I got my Super Black Magic, which I know, yes, I got, you know, that's only one amp that I really ever talk about, but I mean, unless I quite literally have it completely goosed, I'm not getting pretty much hardly any drive out of it unless I really, really push that thing, and that's just not gonna fly because
similar dilemma.
Dry as a bone still. So, anyways, because it's a non-reverb amp, so that's what I'm doing
on this one. That's interesting.
Yeah. That was a great question, Samjet, and I encourage all of you out there who might be daydreaming at work, send us in your would you rathers. We'd love to hear them.
Make sure you have it a long, drawn-out story, too.
We love those. We're going to check in with Tony really quick, and then we're going to say see you later to our friend Drew.
That's right, Todd, because at this point of the show, we like to thank a special group of people. These are our executive producers. And Todd's probably wondering, what's an executive producer? No, he's not wondering because he knows. He created it. Go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor of this very podcast. Mm-hmm. You get a great bevy of prize packages at all levels, really. Things like barefoot buttons and stickers and picks. And
we're down to 2 levels now.
Well, we're just down to 2 levels. Like I said, one of the 2 levels, you get great stuff. Our executive producers get all the fun stuff, the great stuff. But there's one thing more that they get. And Rob, what is that?
Oh, you get to have your name read on the thing.
Man, you are sounding more and more like Jared
I've been
every
working
day.
on it.
Good job.
I've been working on that.
So without further ado, I'm going to read this list of executive producers.
Growing.
And it's growing. It's making Todd nervous because now this is consuming 25 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah.
Not quite.
No, that's not the problem. It's you go on. Go ahead. I'm not saying
you're encouraging the behavior.
Yeah,
Todd.
I know. As I'm saying this, I'm going, damn it, shut up.
It's
you're
like,
fueling him right now.
I know. I want everybody's name to be read out loud, loud and clear.
I like reading. I shortened the intro for you.
Thank you.
That's just for you.
It's about their names.
That's for you. It's about their names. That. It's not about the Patreon. It's not about going on and on about senseless things.
Tony is a dog that's behaving badly. You have to just ignore him. Don't make eye contact. He'll stop.
Whack me on the nose. So without further ado, special thanks to these executive producers, Mr. Tom Barazin, Martin Cliff, Darren Gregory, Doug Christ, Michael Van Zant, Ken Sayers, Brian Robison, Michael Senchuk, Stefan Lamb, Anthony Lathrop, John Anglin, Brad Partridge, John Esterle, Justin Jones, James White, Matt Hart, Bill Gola Guitars, Richard Kendall, Ty Harmon, John Jackson, Jason Rausch, Gary Cooper, Mark Garton, Elad Mizrahi, Magdi, Trevor Gunberg, Rick Calhoun, Anthony Gemalero. I said it right, Todd.
Gemalero. That's an upgrade.
He's an upgrade. He was an early
adopter of the entry level one, and then he just said, "You know what? I'm going up there.
I'm goosing it up a bit."
Yeah.
And
thank you, Anthony.
Hey, one more thing. We've got a new executive producer.
Who is it?
His name is John Halverson.
Right on. Welcome.
Hey,
so
John.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Anthony, thanks for upgrading.
And you know what? I have to say, we've been reading Martin Cliff's name off for a long time, and we have to take him off the list now.
Okay.
Go.
You're interrupting me
sorry.
again. You know, Todd,
He got you.
there's another group of people. We call them our grand poobahs. These are our executive producers that are, you know, shall we say, up a notch. They like to hang out in the penthouse suite in their individual hot tubs, drinking special guitar knob executive producer. Cavatier. Yes, they're having the Cavatier. These are extra special people, and they really, along with our other executive producers and patrons, make this show possible. So special thanks to these grand poobahs. Jonathan Jurusik, Corey Nigro, David Kaminga, Science of Sound, Cody Foster, Sean S.
Yes.
Tommy Manasco, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Tim Nowak, Tyler Rhines, James Pennington, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, Johnny Morales, Mal Sanders, Bob Crouch, Sam Jett with 2 T's, Michio Murakishi.
You had
I had the Michio right though. Sorry, Michio. And your order will be going out soon.
Yeah.
This is why you said we should take. You got me, Todd.
Yeah.
Martin Cliff has upgraded to a Grand Poobah.
Yep. Martin Cliff's been supporting us for a very long time.
Thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
You got a guy so nice we read his name twice.
Exactly.
That's right.
And actually on that, I just wanted to share this really quick while we hit that. He's been supporting us for a very long time. He said, "Hey, Todd, Tony, Jared, and Rob, I think.
Rob?
Thought it was finally time I stepped up to Grand Poobah level. I'm leaving Hong Kong at the end of July for a new life in Bucharest, Romania. He's been living there, doing things for a long time.
Yeah.
He's been really heavily into music, and I think he was teaching music and stuff. Yeah,
I've sent a couple of projects to Hong Kong.
So he said he's not exactly sure what he'll be doing yet, but definitely going to be doing something guitar related, maybe starting with some tech work, maybe some building a couple instruments. You guys and so many of your guests have really inspired me to think that we can really do this stuff. That means a lot. It really does.
Can you shorten that a little bit, Todd?
No. I helped a friend build a really cool guitar over the last year, and the bug has bitten. Really appreciate all you guys do. Looking forward to much more of it going forward.
Excellent.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Martin.
Thanks,
and
Martin.
thank you to all of our supporters. Drew, we need to say a great big thank you to you right now. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. I had a great time.
Awesome. It was a pleasure having you on. We dig what you're doing, and we wish you great success moving forward.
Thank you.
And where can people buy your pedals?
WeirdNoisePedals.com.
Awesome.
That
Easy
is the
to
place
remember.
buy them. Yeah, easy to remember.
Go and do it. Tanya,
Yes.
how about you?
Let's say you need a special pick guard. You're upgrading.
That's right.
You're doing new pickups in whatever you need. Go to pickguardian.com. Check out the wares I have to offer. But a lot of what I do, almost most of what I do, is custom work. So shoot me an email. Let me know what you need. I will take
You've got
very
all
good care
the
of you.
crazy materials.
Yes.
Excellent. Rob, how about yourself?
Mad Cow Amplification, Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, check you out on Instagram for some awesome stuff about amps. Jared?
If you guys have a question about Gibson pickups or just pickups in general, write us an email, Todd an email, and he'll ask it on the podcast.
That's right. You can DM me, Todd, at theguitarknobs.com if you want to ask any of us anything or share your thoughts. You can also DM me on Instagram at Guitar Knobs. That'll get you directly in to all of our inner chambers.
That's right.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you all for hanging out tonight. We had an awesome time. We really appreciate each of you being here and sharing your time as well. So, hey, everybody, have a fantastic guitar week and subscribe!
Bye-bye.
Did you raid the Australian Beach Club or something? You got all these Truly drinks in here. What's going on?
Well,
go.
Oh yeah,
Tony misses me the most.
Uh-uh.
I can tell you do.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, you do.
And oh golly, now I'm all out of breath. I'm done.
I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Whoa. Yeah, well, when we do a Trivial Pursuit contest, you're not invited.
Is your head full of useless information too?
Oh, absolutely.
Sort of like a big husky, kind of barrel chesty big guy, right?
Like me.
Right. Well, your barrel's a little lower.
Oh!
Oh wow.
Wow, making
he's
fun
full
of
of
the
zingers.
Tony.
We are just off and running, huh?
Whoa.
I've seen church organs in my life where they still operate on air.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Error and guilt.
Now did
Put in the organ.
hey, Tony's hip, damn it. This is depressing. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jared.
right? You just
Yeah.
you never know what you're going to get till the end of the show.
Never know.
I hate that part of the show.
See here.
Action pack, baby.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.